Stupid.
Welcome to the Just Stupid Podcast. It's your boy Lucky. That's spelled Luquee, not Lucky. Now it's time to get into some things. So this is the very first episode of a very good podcast to come, and I'm very excited to announce that. And also, I want to thank everyone who tunes in and thank everyone who shares and likes and comments and all of that. So first, I want to say that I do have the Apple podcast published, and I also have the Spotify profile published too. So I'm going to be leaving those in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm going to be posting the video part on YouTube, and I'm also going to be posting the audio parts on Apple and Spotify. So that's going to be in the description down below. So the first things first is I wanted to get into fairness versus equal. So that's going to be the topic for today. But cuz I just want to get y'all's thoughts on that, because you have equality and then you have fairness. So fairness, people think that both of them coexist with each other, but when you have fairness, you have someone that gets what they need and the other one that gets, both of you get what they need. But then when you have equality, you have two people getting the same thing, even though one person is doing the work and the other person isn't. You get what I'm saying? And it's not like legitimate work, but it's also other things with like relationships and jobs and just being out in society. It's race too. Like you have a white man and a black man. A white man is going to get more perks than a black man, just because he's white, which brings up the white supremacy and all that type of stuff. So when you look at like the gay community and being straight, so you have a gay black man and a straight black man. So a gay black man will get all types of misunderstandings and get all type of backlash. Like for me, example, just because I am gay, a lot of people think that I can't do a lot of things. Like for me, I grew up in the country, okay? So I know what I've been grown up to know, what I grew up to know. So the way my mother brought me up, like I work on cars. Like when I was younger, I bust wood for my grandmother. It's a lot of, and that's another thing. Like it's a lot of hatred going towards someone that you don't even know about. So that brings me to being fair and equal, because just because man is straight, he's going to be looked at like for a job. For example, warehouse. I had this experience. So a straight man would be looked at for a job and get a job and has no experience in doing the job. Then when you have the gay guy who has 4+ years of experience doing a certain job, but he gets looked over because the straight dude came in. So that's why then you have the discrimination. It goes into a lot of things. That's why when I started out trying to do a podcast, I had to figure out how to keep myself in one topic on an episode, because knowing me, I'll go all over the place and I'll wind right on back up to where the topic was. So it's a lot that goes into fairness and equality, but it's different ways to go about things too. because you can be fair and act like you got some sense, but you got people that's being so-called fair but also want to be jackasses with it too. So that's not how that coexists. But because once I start getting guests up here and start asking these questions to the guests and getting other perspectives on things, like when you have in a relationship, you have the man and the woman. It goes back to fair and equal. In a relationship, with a traditional relationship, I want to say traditional because times have changed and people don't seem to grasp that part. But times have changed. This is not the 1800s, 1900s. This is a whole another generation, whole new time period. But so in a traditional relationship, man and a woman, a man has her set of responsibilities. A man has his sets of responsibilities. And when you're looking at fairness, people think just because a woman turns around and bulges into a man's responsibility, that they get looked at a certain type of way, like the man isn't still a man. Or if a man bulges into the woman's responsibility, they take that as a man that still isn't being like the man. Either way, let me put it this way, because it goes on to men a lot. And I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I don't care. So that's literally the point of the podcast. So you have a man and a woman's responsibilities. If a woman bulges into a man's responsibility, he's looked at as a bitch, as a sissy. But even if he doesn't ask for it, shouldn't the man be doing this? Shouldn't the man be doing that? Shouldn't the woman be doing this? Shouldn't the woman be doing that? But if a man turns and bulges into a woman's responsibility, it's the same thing. He looked at as a bitch. But in this reality, it's called being an adult. That's where it comes with fairness. If my woman doesn't have it, or let's say if the woman doesn't have it, and the man has it, and he's able to give it to her, that's being fair. So if the woman has it and the man doesn't, and she's able to give it to him, that's being fair. That's called coexisting. A lot, and people don't know how to do that because they put roles on certain situations, like a man is supposed to do this and a woman is supposed to do that and only that. But at the end of the day, a man needs to know how to cook too. Like, it doesn't hurt for a man to know how to cook. A man needs to clean up too. So that part doesn't make sense to me because of the simple fact that it's been brought up into society that a man needs to go to work, make the money, come back home, and shut the fuck up. But not realizing that that's breaking people, because a man has to, in this society, and well, not in this society because we're slowly breaking out of it, but we're breaking out of it. But it is put into society that a man has to shut up and go to work and keep his feelings to himself, or he's considered a what? A bitch ass nigga. But when that comes to that time where this man is balling up all of these feelings because he needs to shut up and keep his feelings intact and not let anybody know what's going on in his brain or whatever, or in his heart. He don't need to talk about his feelings. He a man. Get over it. So when this nigga lash out on your ass, then it's a whole different story. Oh, he's a narcissist. He don't care about me. And he blah 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 blah. But then, let me put this into perspective. What about two men? If you have a relationship, if it's a gay relationship, man and man, what are these roles like then? What are these women roles and men roles like at then? That's why I brought up the fairness and being equal. Because when you have two men that's together in a relationship, there's no such thing as a gender role. But when the only gender role that there is in a man and a woman relationship, traditional relationship, is one gives birth and one doesn't. That's the only gender role. Because if a man is by himself, what is he gonna do? He gonna starve himself to death because he can't cook. He gonna live in filth because he ain't got nobody to clean up for him. Or with a woman because she's by herself. She's not supposed, if she gets stranded on the side of the road from a flat tire, she's supposed to wait on a man to come do that for her when she can learn how to do it herself. So, and that also brings me to the fact that when you have these types of relationships and these type of conversations with people, and you have conversations with different generations of people, the older generation obviously is going to think different, is going to think more traditional than this generation today. Because if you're right, let's go into the breadwinners of the house. Bills got to be paid regardless. So when you're talking about being a breadwinner, you guys, especially in a marriage, you being the breadwinner, both of y'all have bills to pay. Both of y'all have to work. If you are by yourself, what are you going to do? What is the word independent going to do for you if you don't know how to do anything by yourself? And then that's one thing that I don't understand with independent women, because a lot of y'all are independent but bash men. But my thing is, if you're so independent, why do you care what the next man is doing? If you're about your money and about your hustle, what the next man is doing should not concern you at all. It should not concern you whatsoever. But at the same time, you're going to have these people that's going to think in the back of their mind, a man needs to do this, a man needs to do that, and a woman needs to do this, woman needs to do that. And I'm not just bashing on women either, because men do it too. Women are just more comfortable doing it, but men do it too. There are narcissistic men just like there are narcissistic women, but it's more comfortable in a woman's perspective because of the simple fact that with the gender roles and you doing this and you need to do this and pay this, and I'm gonna do this and do that. It all coexist with each other. But because I just be like, okay, if you have these roles or whatever, when you get into a same-sex relationship, then where do these roles go? Because that part isn't resonating with me. That's basically what I'm saying. in my opinion, because this is my opinion, in my opinion only, you can agree, you can disagree or whatever. That's what the comments are for. Get to talking. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that you're going to get mad at someone because of how society is being, of them being brought up. Like what I said about the men having to go to work and being the breadwinners and coming back and doing such and such or whatever. And then it goes to being protectors. I understand that. You're a protector of your household. You are a man. You protect your household. But if a woman is by herself, who protecting it? Cause all I'm gonna say is just Jesus is protecting. Because if you're not gonna protect your house, if you're by yourself, who's gonna protect it for you? If you live by yourself, pay your own bills, who's gonna protect your household for you? So there needs to be a compromise, or needs to meet in the middle somewhere. Because just because of a gender, everything gets changed or everything gets put on the line for the simple fact of being a woman and being a man. Like, obviously I don't know much. Okay? I'm only been on this earth for 23 years. But I'm not stupid. And that's what a lot of people like to think about this new generation. Because, like with me, I'm not dumb. I know what things are. Like, I'm in a relationship now. There's no such thing as a gender role in this house. Stuff get done. Bills got to be paid. If he has it, I got it. If I got it, he got it. That's how it is. I cook, I clean. He cooks, he clean. Same thing. I work, he work. There's no roles. There's no roles in this. And that's why, like with the 50-50 thing, or if your relationship should be 50-50, there's no such thing as a 50-50. Like I said, if he has it, if he has and I don't, he got me. If I have and he doesn't, I got him. Because there's sometimes it's going to be 70-30 or 60-20. It's going to be those types of moments to where, like, okay, if there's a bill that has to be paid, he has, and let's say if it's $120, he has 100 and I got the 20. Okay, put it together, bill paid, go on by that day. Ain't nothing getting cut off. But people need to start learning as with these men. Like I said, they're slowly coming out. They're slowly getting more vulnerable, getting more into their feelings, so they'll be able to express themselves instead of lashing out. But people have to understand there's a lot of pressure being put on a man. I mean, as well as women too, but on a man, being a black man, like especially black men, but being a black man in this society, and then being a black gay man on top of that in this society, then that's some bullshit. So you have to understand that there's a lot of loopholes, but talk to your men, because it's hard to talk because you don't know who you can trust. You don't know who gonna keep your feelings. You don't know how this person is gonna react if you being vulnerable, or you telling how you feel and all that type of stuff. it all goes, and then it builds up egos, and then it builds up bad self-esteem, and it builds up the arrogance, because it all goes back to because men don't know how people are going to react to different situations. Because if a man over here telling how he feels about this woman, or telling or pouring his heart out, he a bitch for that. But if he holding his feelings in, and he ends up lashing around on your ass, then it's a whole different situation. It's a whole different story then. But just talk to you. Just talk to your men. Just talk to each other. I mean, there's a lot of women that hold stuff in too. But women are more vulnerable than men are. Because traditionally, a woman looks for her protector, which is the man. And then you have the feminine energy and the masculine energy. But both have feminine and masculine energy. So there's no reason why you can't connect with your partner or talk to your partner. That's why a lot of these relationships don't last, because y'all don't talk to each other. But then mess around getting on Facebook and Instagram, bashing each other, blah, 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 blah. When y'all could have sat down in a room, y'all could have had some snacks, had a little drink, and talk it out. It's not that hard. And this is coming from somebody that holds stuff in himself. Because I do have that feeling. At the end of the day, I'm a man at the end of the day. My mother gave birth to a nigga at the end of the day. So I have those moments where I feel like if I talk about my feelings, or if I talk about what I got going on, I'm going to be looked at as a bitch ass nigga or a sissy or something. I mean, but that's just, and that's also an insecurity thing, which is a lot of men have. And cause their insecurity, that would choke you. That would make you not sleep at night for being insecure. Because I mean, you don't. Because when you're being insecure, you don't know if your partner is cheating or this and that, and then you being insecure and you be looking for stuff, looking for just to say something, just for you to have something to say about something. There's a lot of, cause that's petty as hell too. That's real petty. Cause it be situations where, like if somebody broke your heart in a previous relationship, and then you get into this new relationship with a person that's great. I mean, he's not out here flaunting billions and got all diamonds and stuff, but that's a good ass man that you got right there. He makes sure you good. He makes sure you eat. He makes sure the bills paid and all of that. But because of the trauma from a past relationship, will fuck that whole new relationship up. Because you looking for something to say. You looking for him to do something. Instead of looking at what's in front of you. There's a difference between putting your walls up and being cautious. Because when you put your walls up, you just blocking everything. But when you're cautious, you can see what he's doing. You're moving slowly into the relationship, saying like, okay, he's doing this, such and such. Let me just make sure I don't pour my heart into it too fast and too much. But I'm gonna make sure I do my part at the same time. But you have to understand, when you put the walls up, That's a whole different story. You're blocking all your blessings. And I'm saying this because I am a victim of it. I put my walls, I used to be like that. I put my walls up, I block out everything. But now I'm learning the difference between putting up walls and being cautious. That's gonna be another topic that I'm gonna have to get deeper into in another episode. But which also brings you back to the being fair and being equal, because that's not fair to him. I'm telling you, that's why I say me doing a podcast. That's why I had to think about it, because I will go off subject so quick, but then it'll all wrap around back to the same topic that I started off with. It's all going to connect at some point, but it's the simple fact that it's all going to lead back to being fair or equal, because that's not being fair to the next person, to the new person. That's being equal. You're giving this person the same treatment you giving the last person. That's equal. Equal means the exact same thing. Equal. So you're being equal by giving this person the same treatment that you gave the last person that fucked your heart up, but he's the good one. But you give, there's no such thing as perfect, but there's a such thing as a good person or a great person. He's not perfect. There's no such thing. He's going to have some flaws. Everybody on this earth has flaws. I don't care who you are. You're going to have flaws. So people that think they're just all big and bad and just the shit, you really not the shit, because y'all just be flaunting stuff and don't have a receipt to show for it. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. But then but that's what I get into, you being able to be cautious, because when you're being fair, you're not giving the next person the same energy. It's the same energy. So, like getting even. And that's another thing that I got with me, with getting even. That's not always the best situation or the best thing to do. But that brings you back to being equal, because that person gave you that energy. Alright, turn that shit back around and give you the same energy. So that's why I brought up fairness and equality, if they belong in the same category, or do they coexist with each other. And I want to hear y'all's comments about it. Make sure y'all comment down there for that. And also make sure y'all follow my Instagram and the Facebook. I'm gonna leave those in the description too. On the video on YouTube. So yeah, because remember, I got the video part, I'm putting it on YouTube, and then I got the audio part, which is gonna be on Apple and Spotify. But yeah, so this is gonna wrap up this first episode. We're gonna be getting into more things later on, but I wanted to go ahead and put something together, put something out there ready for people to listen and sit back and hear. And like I said, everything's going to be in the description, and I want y'all to have an amazing day, an amazing night, or whatever it is, wherever you are, day, night, or just have an amazing one. And peace out.
Stupid.